Talk about what's happening within the pharma pack. I mean, the fact that Trump has threatened to levy 200% tariffs on pharma, but after 12 to 18 months, what could the implications be? We've got Vishal Manchanda joining in on the show right now. Vishal, hi, morning. Thanks for joining in. What do you think could be the repercussion of this threat of a levy, that to 200%, but after a gap of 12 to 18 months? How is it going to impact the Indian players?
Hi, good morning. So I think we need a time gap to kind of, if at all Trump wants to put tariffs on pharma, we'll need probably even more time to put those kind of tariffs, because what happens in pharma, if you want to shift production to the US and you want to set up a plant, it takes at least 3 to 4 years actually to kind of set up a plant, gain approval for your products. So even if I think that kind of time duration is required. And I think the intention here is not putting tariffs on the generic drugs. The intention here is putting tariffs on the patented drugs that get manufactured outside the US. But the primary markets for those drugs is the US, but they get manufactured outside the US. That would be the primary intention. And I don't think the US can accommodate generic volumes. So they don't have the infrastructure to support manufacturing of the volumes that generic companies produce.
Right, Vishal. So just to take that point ahead, then do you believe this 200% tariff could be a possibility? Is it warranted given that US does not have the capabilities to produce generics and its trading partners, for example, India, it makes up a large chunk for the generics that we trade with the US. A 200% tariff on this, do you believe that this number could moderate going ahead?
So I think it's more about getting companies as much. So I think this is basically a warning to ensure companies start aligning with their agenda in terms of pushing production. As I said, generics is not something they would want production to happen in the US, because generic drugs need to be cheaper, and if they're manufactured in the US, the entire purpose of generic drugs is lost. They'll become 2x, 3x costlier than what they are today. So I would presume the entire intention of this tariff is getting the patented drugs production to the US, and probably they'll spare the generic drugs.
Okay, and Vishal, how do you expect the pharma stocks to trade today on the back of this news that we have seen, and also the fact that this is going to be in effect after 12 to 18 months? Do you think we can see a negative sort of a knee-jerk reaction on pharma stocks today and in the near to medium term?
So I don't think stocks should react that much. There would be some pressure on Sun Pharma, which has got exposure to patented drugs in the US, about 15% of their not 15, a bit lower than that. That comes from patented drugs in the US, and not all of that is manufactured outside the US. Part of that would also be manufactured in the US. So a bit of pressure on Sun, but I would not expect other stocks to witness correction.
Right. Okay, Vishal, good to have you on the show. In fact, let's revisit some